So class, in today's video, I want to go over some anime worlds that will be pretty good to live in my opinion, of course. And remember, if you guys agree with me, make sure you guys let me know down in the comments. And while you're down there, subscribe to my YouTube channel for more content. Now, before going into this, I have to let you guys know that I'm going to be ranking these worlds based off of lifestyle, activity, and my own personal, opinions about the worlds. And we're gonna give them like a ranking between whether if this is the best world to live in or you're gonna just die. But I will be going over like 2 different scenarios for certain worlds, like whether if you get transported in here with your memories of the verse or without the memories of the verse. And just for shits and giggles, we can also sometimes go over whether if the world will be better as the MC or without being the MC. But for the first anime verse that we have, we are going to be going over Black Clover. Now, I feel like, me personally, Black Clover is just outright perfect for a world that will be best to be transported into, because going in either as the MC or without the MC, at the end of the day, you're still going to get powers in some shape or form. To be honest, I feel like the only fun that you will possibly have is depending on what type of magic attribute you get. But even then, to be honest with you, throughout the entire show, I don't think anybody has had like a really bad magic type. The only thing that I would truly say will kind of make or break the activities is depending on what type of leaf grimoire you get. Because if you get a 4-leaf, bro, hey, you might as well just join one of the damn squads. So let's be for real. It's not even like you have a choice either way too, because if you have a really good magic type and you have a 4-leaf grimoire, Captain Yami just gonna scoop you up and you a part of the Black Bulls whether you like it or not. But let's just say you got unlucky and you just got a regular grimoire with I don't know, wind magic or some shit. But you can still live out your life on a farm or something and kind of just be chilling on your own. Now, I know the events that happen throughout the anime is kind of pretty crazy, but you don't gotta worry about that if you're not in the Clover Kingdom. Just go somewhere else. Now, let's just say if you don't go into the verse with your memories, hey, you best be training with your powers and stuff to defend yourself. That will be the smarter move instead of just sitting on your grimoire and not doing anything. Because the more you train with that grimoire and with your powers and stuff, the more spells and everything that you will get to better your life in general, and you might be able to defend yourself even better. So in my opinion, I feel like Black Clover pretty much has a really high survival rate depending on what you want to do. If you want to join a squad, it all depends on what type of leaf grimoire you have and depending on how much training you want to do to make sure that you survive long enough to see 30. Or you can just take the grimoire and just live a regular life somewhere else. So with that, I will have to give Black Clover a good 8 out of 10 for survival, depending on what you want to do. If you want to join the squads and go out and fight some shit, then I will have to drop that to a good 6 out of 10. Because I know damn well most of y'all probably will not be training with your shit. But if you do train with it, I would still say it's a pretty much a 8 out of 10 survival rate for Black Clover. That's pretty good in my opinion. So now the next verse that I want to talk about is Sword Art Online. Listen, I'm sorry to burst everybody's bubble, but no matter how you look at it, if you are not Kirito, then SAO, at least for first season SAO, is not the move. The whole concept of when you die in the game, you die in real life, if we look at it as a realistic standpoint, let's look at the gaming community as a whole right now. Let's use a perfect example, Marvel Rivals. No matter how you slice it, no matter how you put it, there is always going to be a handful of people that is just going to be the absolute worst for no reason. People will take this situation and just think that they're the main character and be like, man, I can handle this by myself, and they just go off and die. Or somebody's trying to strategize a plan, and all we're hearing in the background is,
I had 2 bullets in my head.
Or let's just go further in depth with this. When everybody's in the dungeon and shit's starting to hit the wall, as soon as somebody takes an itty bitty amount of damage, guess who's going to be crying in the background talking about, where's my healing? Why isn't the tank tanking? You know, the typical BS. When everybody's already in high stress and high situations, you're still going to be bitching? And then you're going to also have the assholes who want to become player killers and start murking people just because they can. Like, bro, like this whole thing will be a shit show if you look at it. Like, if you look at it realistically, if you're not Kirito, if you're not the main character, it's a shit show. Like, you have a 3 out of 10 survival rate in SAO realistically. Now, post SAO with, like, you know, GGO and like Alpine Online and shit, now we're talking. Here's what we're actually gonna be getting into, like, you know, some good shit. Because I want to be able to freaking play with the damn nerve gear and shit. Hell, I like GGO. If you guys been on this channel for a while, I made like 2, technically speaking, 3 videos on GGO. I'll be fucking with GGO. I'll be in that shit. Now, I'm only using like that first scenario that when we get transported into SAO, of course, I'm not from Japan, so I'll be in, like, you know, the NA side of things. I'll be in the NA servers. So that's why I was saying what I was saying. But like I said, if you're not Kirito, then shit just is not going to go right for you. But post SAO, going to like GGO, yeah, no, the survival rate is, that's just like a 10 out of 10. What are we talking about? That's a 10 out of 10. Now, before we continue on with the list, if you guys made it this far in the video, you might as well just subscribe. And I made a community post in my Discord for other people to give me their suggestions of worlds that they would like to go to for their own specific reasons. So I kind of just want to read off some of those. Our first entry that we have comes from my boy Trey. And he says Data Live or Code Geass. I'm going to choose Data Live on this one. Now, Trey, I know you're going to be watching this video. I'm sorry, but if you go into Data Live as yourself, even with your memories, it's still a low survival rate. Because one, we also got to factor in those damn spatial quakes that happens randomly, just completely out of nowhere. And then, you know, we can also make that argue of, you know, there's bunkers and stuff. Cool. Now, when the spatial quakes are, like, you know, done and the spirits are running around the city, then what? You're just gonna randomly walk to work and then get hit by an ice shard or get hit by a hurricane? Or, God forbid, time just randomly stops? And Trey, I know you. Alright, we go way back. So I know the reason why you're going into Data Live. And simply for that reason, your survival rate dips even lower because you're looking for smoke. And by smoke, I mean Kurumi. And going based off of all the numbers, your survival rate at that point in time is at least a 2 out of 10. That is a 2 out of 10. Now, if you're going in as Shido, as the main character, then you're perfectly fine. Alright, you're perfectly fine. It's like a what? 8 out of 10? Nah, to be honest, that's actually way higher. So that's like probably a 10 out of 10 survival rate. Due to the fact that the abilities and stuff that you get, yeah, no, that's a 10 out of 10 survival rate. And the activities inside the shit too, yeah, no, you're perfectly fine if you go in as Shido. Now, getting into our next entry from Stalking, their entry that they're saying is Fate. Okay, we're gonna get on that statement in a little bit, but Fate as a whole, the survival rate is pretty low. All right, it's pretty low because it goes off of a lot of factors. I'ma just say it's low regardless of what you do. Like, it's kind of like the Data Live in a sense, but a lot worse because some of those servants be actively looking for people. So it's pretty low. It's pretty low on both parties, either if you're participating or if you're not. So Fate as a whole gets a 2 out of 10 survival rate. I don't even think you're gonna be able to even do any activities or even be chilling, due to the fact that no matter that those Holy Grail wars be going on and most of those servants be going around killing people. Like, we all seen the show. And getting on your reasoning of why you want to go on Fate, listen, probably take out Lancer, and give me Babylon Gilgamesh, and I'll probably agree with you. But you guys already know, Baber all day. Ain't nothing changing that. And getting into our last entry for the video, because there was quite a bit in the Discord. Our last entry comes from my guy Truly. Bro, this is also a low survival rate. All right, this is low. Akami got killed. Akami got killed. Bro, did we all not see the same anime? Now, of course, I'm talking about, like, you know, going in as yourself, even with, like, you know, your memories. I'll give you your memories of the verse and stuff. But boy, it's still Akami got killed at the end of the day. This world is not for games. And yeah, your reasonings is for Esdeath, which valid. But going into the verse by yourself, one, I hope you stay alive to find her, and two, if you do find her, she's just gonna kill you. So what's the deal? And let's just say, right, you go in as, you know, the main character. I kind of forget his name. Somebody will give it to me in the comment section. If you go in as him, if you can survive long enough to get to the Esdeath part, then by all means, my boy, you won. Congratulations, because I know you not leaving. But the slight chance of you getting up to that part, because if you're going in as the main character, that also means you have to fight. And regarding of fighting, that lowers your survival chance down a lot. So just be wary of that. And if I had to say, like, you know, the numbers, I would say a 4 out of 10. A 4 out of 10. Alright, you know what, I'll bump it up. I'll bump it up to like a 5.5 out of 10 due to like plot armor and stuff, because you are going in as the main character. If you're not going in as the main character, you're going in as yourself, that's a -1. Oh, -1 out of 10 survival rate. You are not living past like an hour probably. And getting into our last world for the video on my personal list has to be Konosuba. Because I get best of both worlds. Before I get transported inside that world, I get to at least talk to one of the damn goddesses and they offer me a weapon. And unlike Kazuma's stupid ass, I'm actually going to choose a weapon and I'm going to be breezing through it. We can, like, you know, take the option of whether if I'm going into the verse with or without my memories. The fact of the matter is I get a free weapon, so it doesn't really matter. It only starts to somewhat matter if you're going in as Kazuma. And if you're going in as Kazuma, then I'm pretty sure 9 times out of 10, most people are going to be choosing that weapon. Unless you want to be weird and actually go down the Kazuma route and choose Aqua for some god-forsaken reason. Why would you want to do that if Wiz is in that verse? So as long as you choose a weapon, at the end of the day, you are going to be breezing through it. That is a good 8.10 survival rate, because you still got to deal with, like, you know, monsters. You still got to deal with, you know, some big bosses and stuff like that. But if you choose the right weapon and if you put your points into the right stats, it's easy. And factoring in, if you actually get like a good party going too, everything might as well just become a breeze at that point. But what do you guys think? Do you guys think that I was spitting in this video? Do you guys agree with what I was saying about the verses? Or do you think that I was wrong and maybe some verses should have their numbers changed? Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. And while you're down there, you might as well subscribe to my YouTube channel, because we do videos like this all the time. And remember, if you guys want to be in future videos or participate in the videos in the future, make sure you join my Discord. The link is always in the description. But with that being said, there's no bell today. Pack your bags. Class dismissed.